Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, PokeaimMD here. Today I have a tournament game that I'm going to be commentating that I played the other day for the Best Friends tournament. For those that don't like this style of narration where I pause and talk about the game in post-game, feel free to just check out the replay down below. So the Best Friends tournament is basically you sign up with another person. I signed up with my friend Nat, and she signed up to play RU. So basically, in the tournament, I'm her best friend. And let's say we play someone, for example, Blunder is paired up with Solwyn, and Solwyn is signed up for Black and White OU. So if we paired versus each other, Nat would play Blunder in RU, or one of them would take Black and White, and the other would play me in an RU. So that's how it would work, right? We go back and forth between it. So one tier is established for each pair, and the other is dependent on what your opponent has. So the way we have it right here is our tier, again, like I said, is RU. So Nat has to play Drew's partner, whereas I have to play Drew in their tier, which was Sun and Moon OU. So I wanted to have fun because even though it is a tournament, it's not like a major tournament. It's just a fun side tournament. So I ripped up this old team that I used during the Zygarde meta. I forgot the dude's name. It starts with a K and has like a bunch of weird letters, but I'm gonna call him Coot. I think that was his name. And yeah, I just used his Golisopod team. I changed his Icy Wind on Golisopod to, or I don't think it had Icy Wind originally, but I gave Golisopod knockoff because Zygarde is no longer in the meta. And looking at team preview, Volcarona, definitely a problem, but I do have a Chansey. It's just a really fun team, even though it does have a Chansey. It's just my Stealth Rocker. It's basically allows me to use Pokemon like Golisopod because then I don't have to be super weak to a bunch of special attackers. But game plan, Pinsir can go in if I can get rid of Zapdos and weaken Celesteela, which I think that my all-out pummeling taunt Lele does. Lele is fantastic in this game as well. I also very much like my spikes, and I definitely want to keep rocks up as well because of Volcarona, though it's not too much of a threat because I do have Chansey. Got to be really careful about Diggersby too, and just looking at like team preview and lead, Golisopod matched up very well because it's one of the few Pokemon I have that could take a hit from Diggersby and threaten it with first impression. So good damage, putting in range of HP Ice from my Zapdos. So yeah, I'm going to try and spike stack my opponent, break through Zapdos, hopefully go for like a Pinsir or Lele endgame. My opponent probably just trying to beat me down with like Discharge Zapdos and potentially a Calm Mind, Clefable, and you abuse T-Spikes from Toxapex. I think that's their overall game plan. Like, I don't really have much that actually OHKO Celesteela. In fact, none of my team OHKO Celesteela. You can even take on Discharge from my Zapdos, but I want to weaken that thing, and I think knockoff Golisopod goes a long way. Getting rid of Black Sludge on this, potentially leftovers on this, leftovers of Rocky Helmet on this, and leftovers on Celesteela. So again, let off with my Golisopod here as he ends up leading off with Celesteela. Because my end game does have to do with Pinsir, I want to go for knockoff here and get rid of its potential leftovers as I get a really lucky turn one and dodge a Leech Seed. As I find out it was Occaberry, not even leftovers. So I decided to throw up a spike here on the Celesteela. Now, Zapdos is going to come out. And what I actually decided here to do was go out to my own Zapdos. This covered one or two things. Flamethrower, also potentially Toxapex coming in as well. I could just throw off some Discharge on there. But he ends up going out to Zapdos and goes right for the Discharge as I bring out Chansey. And what I'm going to do here is go for the Stealth Rock, despite obviously him wanting to defog. Now right here, his Stealth Rock was really weird because he has a Volcarona, right? Obviously I have a Mega Pinsir and a Zapdos, but because Mega Pinsir isn't Mega'd yet, like it only takes 25% from rocks. I have a Spinner in Excadrill, which spins for days on Clefable as well, right? So him getting up rocks was really weird because he's more pressed to defog than I am. But I go for Wish here because it allows me to Wish out into my Excadrill, which covers one or two plays. It covers Moonblast, that's Calm Mind, and it covers Zapdos in a sense because I knew that he'd be forced to defog, which is why I thought that rocks were weird, but like he got them up just to defog them. So I brought in my Excadrill here, and I can go for Rock Slide. I do around 60% to this Zapdos, or 50% to this Zapdos, and unfortunately for my opponent, I get a very, very lucky crit as they're able to defog. Now, that crit was very important because, again, breaking through Zapdos was going to be a little bit tough for me, and now I can take advantage of it. So, if I'm my opponent, I switch out to either Diggersby, Toxapex or Celesteela here on the next rock slide. So I actually decided to pull a switch of my own, trying to catch one of those as he ends up going out into his Celesteela. And instead of spiking here, I don't want to get greedy with it, and I don't want to allow Zapdos to go in. And if he does try to make the hard Zapdos play, I want to get rid of it. So I throw off a Liquidation as he actually does end up going hard Zapdos, and that's great. First off, this means when I get up hazards, they're here to stay. Secondly, he cannot defog away mine like I mentioned, and also just Pinsir is looking that much better. So he brings out Toxapex. At this point, Golisopod did his job. It did more than his job, right? Like, it got rid of Zapdos. So what I'm going to do right here is just get up all 3 of my layers. As I mentioned, this is a Pokemon that's a little bit tough for him to switch into. I go for knockoff though first on the Toxapex just because it's a little bit tough for me too, and I want to make sure Pinsir can beat it. As I go for liquidation there. Now the reason I went for liquidation is because I'm burnt, he could technically try and go Volcarona to either get it in freely on me or go Diggersby to try and get it in freely on me. I didn't want to give him a free hit, right? Like, I wanted damage on Diggersby, so Psyshock knocks it out, etc. I didn't want Volcarona coming in, but after seeing how he's playing it, I decided, okay, it's better to just get up all 3 layers. I don't really care about the T-Spike too much. I have Chansey with Natural Cure, Excadrill can Rapid Spin, and because of my Citrus Berry, Emergency Exit actually isn't going to activate, and I'm able to get up all 3 layers. So seeing that he's Scald T-Spike, I know that he shouldn't have Toxic unless he's packing no Haze. So I'm actually going to bring out my Zapdos here, and what I'm going to do is go right for Heat Wave, anticipating him to want to go out into either Diggersby or, well, mainly just Diggersby. I didn't want to go for the HP Ice. Heat Wave was also cool because I could potentially burn Toxapex, which would be alright, but I catch Diggersby upon switching, and unfortunately for him, get a crit. Now, I do have HP Ice, however, if he's like Jolly Choice Band, I don't want my Zapdos to take it, especially because it literally pivots infinitely into Celesteela, Toxapex, and even Clefable to an extent, depending on the set. So, he tried to get in Diggersby, obviously, on the discharge, and at this point, my Golisopod is burnt. No point in having it alive here. It does turn out he is a Choice Band Diggersby, but I can safely grow out to Excadrill, avoid obviously the T-Spike, and I decide to play it safe. I go for Earthquake here. I go for Earthquake over Iron Head because it doesn't allow Volcarona in, even though he does have a Celesteela. And that's fine because Diggersby does die to Hazard. So we're going to bring my Zapdos now on the Celesteela as he goes for Leech Seed. I mean, it's going to be a little bit annoying with Leech Seed plus Burn and obviously that, and he can bring out Clefable if he wants to, but I double out to Chansey, anticipating him to want to go Clefable. Or potentially sacking the Diggersby, because Chansey does threaten the Volcarona with potential Toxic, but then again, I'm pretty sure you know I don't have Toxic because I'm Wish past these Fat Mons, but I do this as an opportunity to get up rocks, and again, him getting up rocks is very weird, because now his Volcarona comes in at 25%, and again, I have Excadrill, which literally comes in forever and can spin on this thing, so we do find out that he is indeed a Calm Mind variant. I actually make the, did I make the safer play here? No. I go for Rapid Spin. I go for the more aggressive play because I can go back and forth between this and Chansey. And because he is Stealth Rock, Calm Mind, that means his only attack is Moonblast since he has to have Soft Bullet, right? So I can basically Rapid Spin there and always Wish with Chansey to Excadrill if need be on the Moonblast. So bring out Chansey now on the Celesteela. And what I'm going to do is just Soft Bullet up. Obviously, I'm giving Celesteela back up to full, but it didn't really matter anyway. So I'll bring out my Zapdos now. And as he goes for another Heavy Slam, now he can easily go for Leech Seed here, anticipating me to want to go for the Roost. So I actually went for Discharge just in case he made that play, because I wanted to get some damage on it, because obviously, again, my Pinsir is looking very threatening, but I need to weaken the Celesteela. So he goes for Stealth Rock with Clefable, don't really care. At this point, I'm actually going to go for Discharge, trying to get a Para on it, because a paralyzed Clefable is something that potentially Chansey can beat 1v1. It's also something that just gives it less opportunities to actually attack me. So I'm going for another Discharge, as he is going to Soft Bullet up. Again, I'm just going to keep throwing it off. He doesn't have a Discharge switching anyway, and I can Rapid Spin away these rocks if need be. So I finally get the Paralysis after a couple, as he is going to go for the Calm Mind, and right there he's really low, so he's about at about half. So at this point he should go for Soft Build. So I'm gonna take an opportunity to, obviously take advantage of that and go for my own Soft Build. And what I'm gonna do now, bring my Excadrill. Again, I don't care too much about his Moonblast. To do around 30% ish. I can always Wish Pass. Actually, it does a good chunk. I'm not gonna lie. I like look pretty offensive. And what I am gonna do is go for the Iron Head, as it does a good chunk to Celesteela as well. Now, I don't really have much to pivot into Celesteela in a sense to stop it from going for Leech Seed, like I said. While Zapdos can technically infinitely wall it, it's just annoying in general. So I just bring it in, but we're Roost here, and this is a lot of rinse repeat. Like, he's gonna go Clefable, I'm gonna get him my Excadrill, I'm gonna Rapid Spin that time because he didn't Calm Mind, and I'm gonna get him my Zapdos, and I get the Static on Celesteela, which is huge, right? Because I figured with static on Celesteela, he wouldn't risk going for leech seed or doing anything. So I wanted to make the more aggressive play, and if he gets in Clefable, I basically SD up with my Pinsir, because I am close combat Pinsir, not Earthquake. I actually win at this point. As he goes for the leech seed, I don't know if he expected me to roost there, which makes sense. I was at 66. And he says he misclicked here, so that really sucks. I don't know if he meant to click Flamethrower there, but I'm able to get in my Zapdos again. If he stays in with Celesteela, he's letting it take a discharge, and I can always roost in the Clefable. So discharge is always fine for me because I don't die to Celesteela, and if I get off the discharge damage, then again, Pinsir can win. So Clef is going to come out. I'm going to roost up on that boy as he gets full paralyzed. I mean, that's why I discharge him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can get in my drill now. And one thing I also noted is that obviously my Lele is very good, right? Because it breaks through Toxapex. And I have all-out pummeling for Celesteela, so I'm going to try and get that thing in on a good turn, as you guys will see. But I bring my Excadrill, and at this point, this is what I'm talking about, getting it in on a good turn. I basically commit to sacking my Excadrill here, because first off, that's doing so much to, like, why is it doing 18%? That's crazy. That's doing so much to Celesteela, so I commit to sacking my Excadrill just to keep the Celesteela low, because that's the last thing kind of stopping Pinsir. As he gets fully paralyzed there, I don't know if it mattered. I don't know if a Spadef drop would have actually let you take an all-out pummeling from 27%, or Spadef boost rather, but gonna bring out my Lele, throw out the all-out pummeling. That's gonna be able to knock out the Celesteela. He's gonna bring out his Clefable, and I'm gonna go for Taunt, just to stop that thing from going for Calm Minds, and at this point, I throw off a Side Shot. If he doesn't get a Spadef drop, or Special Attack drop, then I beat him 1v1. He actually makes a very good play of going out to Diggersby and sacking it, because that means that Psychic Terrain is obviously going to run out soon, and I want to go for Taunt here because I want to stop him from recovering, making it easier for me to beat. He does call that, goes for Moonblast, gets the Special Attack drop as well, which kind of sucks because basically I could have just set up on that thing, but instead of sacking my Lele to break through Clefable to give my Swords Dance Pinsir a chance, I guess I could have done that there, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't feel like calculating versus Toxapex. I forgot how low Toxapex was, I'll be honest. And I was worried because I didn't have Earthquake, but then again, return is just so strong, right? I bring out my chance here to basically force the Seismic Toss on the Moonblast, and then I'd be a little bit more aggressive. I think I had a lot safer win cons, but I was just like, it's whatever tournament, right? So I bring out my Pinsir in the turn that I'm 100% sure he's going to go for Soft Boiled. I Mega Evolve, I go for SD, and again, this is the end game with Pinsir I was going for. So basically, Pinsir at +2, going to be able to knock out the Clefable. He's going to bring out his Toxapex. It's actually going to go down. I mean, then again, it's a +2 frustration from a Mega Pinsir, so why am I surprised? And Volcarona is going to come out, and I'm just going to go for Quick Attack, and that's going to be game. So I win my game. Nat just has to win hers, and if she does, then we win this round. If she doesn't, then we have to go for a tiebreaker. But yeah, it was a good game. I think I definitely had like safer plays, and I definitely had like things I could have done if I wanted to, but because it's a more fun tournament, I felt pretty comfortable after critting Zapdos, I'll be real. I felt very comfortable after critting Zapdos, and even critting Diggersby was very important because it meant that it couldn't come in anymore. I didn't know how fast the Diggersby was. I don't know if it's Adamant Max or Jolly. Probably Jolly, thinking about it, because Heatran is very, very powerful versus my opponent's team. So you want to be Jolly Diggersby to be faster than it. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. You can check out the collab I did with Elo Bandit earlier today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.